guess after that one I should say thank you to both Steve and Caspar. Thanks for all the TEDx, that's even bleeping up on my phone, so on my wrist, so that's all very good. So, picture the scene. It's an August afternoon in beautiful English countryside, which means it's sort of overcast. But nevertheless, we're in a beautiful village that could double for Downton or Dibley or Midsummer. The bees are buzzing in the hedgerows, the combines are bringing in the harvest, and we've driven through some utterly chocolate box scenery to get here. And for various reasons that I won't bore you with, we didn't really have a formal family getaway this summer. We actually had a staycation. And so I did what any self-respecting social media mama would do. I got myself on Pinterest and I looked up summer bucket lists. And what came up was geocaching. And that's the reason that we're in this glorious pastoral idyll. As a parenting writer who'd been moved to the countryside after having a baby, and yes, I know that's a terrible cliche, I'd been reading about geocaching for years, but I hadn't really got round to it because I had 4 babies in 5 years. So back to this glorious idyll, and my friend and her 2 daughters, and me and my 2 sons, have decided we're going to give it a go. And we head out to this target-rich environment. And obviously in this day and age, I can't take it upon myself to just stop and enjoy the moment. No, I have to document it. So I'm taking some pictures of a close-up of a cow parsley against some moody skies. And then my friend's daughter spies some ponies, and all 4 children jump up onto a 5-bar gate. And the resulting image that we take, the photo that we take, is like a cross between a vintage Enid Blyton cover and a page from the Minnie Bowden catalogue. But to get here, we had to traverse and navigate down an incredibly narrow footpath that was basically a jungle of stinging nettles. This being the one day in this summer where it didn't pour with rain in Hertfordshire, my sons were giving their shorts their annual airing. And so despite our encouragement for them to tread the nettles down and, you know, try and avoid getting stung, they ended up pretty badly stung. And my sons are 9 and 6, so you can imagine they complained about it a lot. I wonder if you can imagine which of the 2 images I wanted to post on Instagram. Looks a bit like embarrassing bodies, doesn't it? In my work, I help businesses understand how various social networks get people to understand them, get people to know them, to like them, to trust them, and ultimately to do business with them. And to do that, we make sure that we have the right message on the right network at the right time. But increasingly, I'm noticing that individuals are looking for that same level of corporate branding and looking for the same amount of that level of professional branding and messaging. I've noticed a mother on Facebook posting about what a wonderful day she's had, when I know for a fact that she was at the doctor's being prescribed antidepressants. There's nothing wrong with needing antidepressants, but this need to constantly apply a filter to everything that we're doing has become a literal example of what Simon Sinek says. Oh, I think I pressed the wrong button there. Simon Sinek says, which is we're growing up in a Facebook and Instagram world. In other words, we're good at putting filters on things. We're really good at showing people that life is amazing, even though I'm depressed. I completely understand and have lived through the isolation that being a mother at home with small children is. I remember being desperate for human company, and that's actually where social media came into its own. Even now, 10 years later, the majority of my friends live in my phone, on WhatsApp and on Facebook. But the ones that I feel closest to aren't the ones who only post the photos of the envy-invoking holidays that they're on, or the fresh-faced children in pristine uniforms on the first day of school. Oh, I like seeing those. The people I feel closest to are the ones who share reality. Because if everyone is curating what we see of their lives, it's much harder for us to connect and relate to people on a genuine level. We live in a world that is so rich with social media display that there are blogging conferences for parents to learn how better to style and photograph their lives in order to get paid for it. While we can make filters on things, it's important to remember that we can't actually control or control or predict what we're going to remember, which of our memories are going to encapsulate our psyches, our deepest psyches, and which are going to evaporate without trace. When I was 5, my father was posted to Newport, Rhode Island. And during that whole extraordinary 365 days of my life is reduced to a flicker of mere memories. The smell of the elementary school classroom, eating a leftover cheese sandwich from a strawberry shortcake lunchbox. My mother assures me that I rode the iconic yellow school bus that we see in the films every day for a year, and I don't remember it at all. So what's causing this need to apply a filter? Well, we all want our lives to be successful. But the truth is that we're all seeking peer approval. The number of likes equates to the amount of success. We all feel peer pressure to only post the good days. But the truth is, there are those who are enjoying huge online success by posting the brutal truth. Let me give you 3 examples. There's Ross Morrison McGill from Teacher Toolkit, who's recently been posting about mental health in teaching. You can't get more honest and raw than that. Katie Kirby from Hurrah for Gin, which is a wonderfully entitled blog that entirely encapsulates, and also Jill Sims from Peter and Jane. Both of those hilariously and excruciatingly give detail on the not so brilliant days. But what's really interesting is when you give people the opportunity to tell the truth. Before I did what I do now, I looked after the community at Mumsnet for a little over 10 years. And the key to Mumsnet's success is the fact that people can anonymously, and therefore honestly, ask questions of their online peers that they would never ask in real life, because it would shatter the illusion that everyone has the answers and that life is perfect. I have seen amazing things happen on social media when people are honest. I have seen suicides prevented because online posters have talked someone out of committing suicide. I have seen serious illnesses diagnosed from their symptoms where doctors have said things were fine. I have seen domestic violence victims being helped to understand that not only is there a problem in the relationship, but given emotional, practical, tangible support on how to leave, where to go, and what to take with them when they do. So we know that people out there aren't having brilliant days all the time. And we also know that there are those out there willing to support them. But we feel uncomfortable asking for help unless it's in an anonymous way. Increasingly, we're coming to recognise that the social media is the definitive record of our lives. Facebook even has its own memories section. It will give you precisely what you posted on this given day in any number of years before. Sort of like a highlights reel at the end of a contestant's run on Strictly. But do you know the difference between what the producers know and the bits that we edit ourselves? Is that they know that too much of a good thing becomes saccharine and fake. If the X Factor only showed, and I know we love the X Factor here, if the X Factor only showed footage of phenomenal singers, and not the parts where people forgot their lines, or sang off key, or are just struggling with the process, then we wouldn't have the journey. Surely we all want a little bit of room for growth. We all want that before and after. If you're only showing the edited, rosy highlights and best bits, then you haven't got that journey. Since I've been talking, Over 300,000 pictures have been posted to Instagram, using who knows how many filters and how much Photoshop. 6,000 new profiles created on Facebook. So what I'd like you to do, what I'd urge you to do, is the next time you go to post, think about whether you're being honest, whether you're telling the whole truth, or whether you're using the best bits. Our lives have great depths, but social media rarely depicts this at all. Why not post a picture of the time the baby ate the tub of Sudocrem? Or explain that when you went to the beach it took 2 hours to get there because of the traffic jams, and then when you got there it started raining by the time you bought the ice creams. In the end, what brings us closer is being honest with each other. May I be so bold to suggest that the next time you stop and share the nettles.